Your miracles are amazing.
Yes.
The things you have made, the things that you have done, Lord, we can't even begin to comprehend. But Lord, I pray that with tonight's message, that our eyes get open, just to see how miraculous you really are. And even though we're just touching the tip of the iceberg, Lord,
Yes.
just open our hearts to receive what you have to say to us tonight, Lord.
Yes,
And
Father.
Lord, may we find comfort in your presence and awe in everything that we see in you. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, so tonight we are made by God.
Hallelujah. Amen.
I want to ask you guys out there, has anybody ever called you no good? Anybody call you worthless? Piece of garbage? Trash? Well, you're going to prove them wrong tonight.
Amen.
Just out of curiosity, does anybody in here just in the slightest bit believe in evolution? Okay? Yeah, I'm not here to pass any judgment on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you from God's perspective how He created us. And you can do the math yourself, and hopefully I'm lighting your eyes tonight.
Amen.
So tonight I'm going to tell you, actually, there's people that do believe that we came from a primordial swamp, evolved into a walking, talking, thinking being. Tonight I'm going to tell you the truth from where you came from. For those who don't know or aren't sure, there is a God.
Yes, He is.
Okay? And He is way bigger than we can ever imagine or fathom.
Amen.
Now, last month we played a video from Louis Giglio, and it showed how amazing the universe are, and Jesus and God, He just breathes out stars, huge stars, galaxies. He created them all.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to dive down now into you. And I would like you to know also that God doesn't build. Where am I at? God doesn't build and create huge things like stars and galaxies. He creates small things too. And He's very, very meticulous with the details.
Yes, He is.
God does not make mistakes.
That's right.
Okay? Just think, out of the 8 billion people or so on the planet right now, God knows you by name.
Come on.
Amen.
He knows you by name. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in His image.
Amen.
Psalms 139:14 says, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. I want you to listen tonight, because you are a miracle. It didn't happen by accident. Maybe you weren't planned, because I can say for myself, I kind of surprised my parents. They weren't ready for another kid, and lo and behold, here I am. You know, but you know what? You might not have been planned by your parents, but you were planned by God.
Amen.
Okay? So now, we're going to go back to the very beginning. The very beginning, when you happened. Okay? So one cell from your dad, and one cell from your mom, and, you know, there's more to how that happened, but, you know, we're just going to stick with the cells right now. So, let's give credit to the one cell from your dad. There were around 1 million others in the race, and you won. Now imagine you're in the middle of New York with no cell phone or any other way to connect to the person that you're looking for. And by the way, you're blindfolded. And you can't hear. Okay? What are the odds that you're going to locate that person and make contact? Pretty slim. I'd say pretty impossible. Now the one cell from your mom has 23 chromosomes, which is half of her DNA, and your dad's cell has half of his DNA, which would be 23 chromosomes. These two cells met up and merged into one single cell. When they merged, those 23 chromosomes from both cells matched up and began to write a brand new DNA code. Now those cells found each other. Now we're talking two cells merging into one. So we're starting with one single cell. Okay? Using only 4 characters or 4 nucleotides, they began to write what we know is about a 3 billion character description of who you are, written in the language of God. Still believe in that swamp theory? They wrote out your DNA, a human genome of 3 billion characters from 4 nucleotides. And when they did, they described who God ordained you to be in that one simple cell. We're still on one cell. We haven't gone anywhere from one cell yet. Now scientists say if they took the DNA out of one simple cell and stretched it out, it would be 6 feet long. And you gotta remember that DNA is microscopic. It'd be 6 feet long. 3 billion characters stretched out to 6 feet long. So amazing that if I were to read your DNA, reading 1 character per second, non-stop, night and day, would take me 96 years just to read the description of you out of 1 cell. When they formed together, they wrote out and painted a picture which had never been written since the beginning of humankind. So since man has been on this planet, the DNA code that was written inside of you is a one of a kind. There's not another one out there. Then that cell set out to do the unthinkable. It began to build a model from 1 cell. Listen, I'm telling you, you are a miracle sitting here tonight. An absolute miracle.
Amen.
That 1 cell decided it's going to start duplicating itself and building more cells and more cells and more cells. And you've come a long way. Here you are. This may not be in your family photo album, but here you are. At 3 days old. 16 cells of you. You're probably thinking, what is it? 16 cells bound together, a 16-cell embryo on the tip of a safety pin. That's you. Here's the 1 cell replicating itself 16 times on its way to making up 75 trillion cells that make up your body tonight. 75 trillion cells in your body tonight. And every one of those 75 trillion cells contains 6 feet of DNA code. So let's do some simple math to put this into perspective. Everyone here knows what a million is, right? Everybody knows what a billion is. And if you know about our national deficit, you know what a trillion is. But how big are those numbers? Anybody have any idea how big those numbers are? I'm going to throw some math at you right now. 1 million seconds ago, 12 days. Pretty simple. 1 million seconds, 12 days. How about 1 billion seconds? Anybody want to take a guess? You guys thinking like, oh, 1 billion seconds, we're in November, so that's probably around, that's probably like last week or something? No. Last month? No. A billion seconds ago, May 1986. How about a trillion seconds ago? You're thinking, all right, I got this one. It's gotta be like, gotta be back like 1800s, right? Wrong. Columbus? Wrong. How about when Jesus was born? No, not even close. 29,982 BC. That's huge. 32,000 years is 1 trillion seconds. And if you don't believe me, you can Google it.
Wow.
So right now, you have so much DNA in your body. If you were to stretch it out, it would go all the way to the moon and back. 178,000 times.
Jeez.
It's a lot of DNA, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still think that, maybe there's something about this evolution? I don't think so. I don't think so. That is how amazing God has made you.
Amen.
And out of those 75 trillion cells in your body right now, when I just told you about that, 50,000 of those cells died and were replaced. And you want to know something? Just now, 50,000 more died and were replaced. It happens every 3 seconds, all night and day of your existence.
Wow.
And you wonder why you're tired all the time? Come on, you guys are doing some amazing things. I'm telling you, we are miracles.
Amen.
Listen to how Augustine put it. Men go abroad to wonder at the height of mountains, the huge waves of the sea, the long courses of rivers, the vast compass of oceans, the circular motion of stars, but they pass by themselves and don't even notice. We don't even see ourselves. Now in the womb, miracles are happening every moment. And here you are at 5 months old. Remember those good old days? Millions of miracles are happening every second. Now let me just tell you about one right now. 1 million optic nerves, the million optic nerve endings left your eye. 1 million and 1 million optic nerve endings left your eye, and then 1 million nerve endings left your brain to connect. 1 million looking for 1 million. They each had to match up perfectly with one another, and in that instant, you had sight. How many electricians do we have in here? Anybody? You know about electricity, so think of a million wires, okay? You're wiring this big building. You got 1 million wires. You got one shot at this. The problem is, all those wires are the same color. What are your odds? Not very good. Got one shot at it. And in that instant, those 1 million met those 1 million, and you had sight.
Wow.
They had to meet their exact partner. And any scientist will tell you that any technological thing on the planet, the most technological thing is your eye. And here it is. But you know what? It really didn't do you any good when that moment occurred, because you had a piece of skin covering your eye, both your eyes. If you look at any of the medical textbooks, a miracle happened at 6 months old. Miraculously and mysteriously, nobody knows where it comes from, where it goes to, but a little cutting device came out. And for the first time, you had eyelids. I don't know where this cutting device comes from. Do you think we're here by accident?
Come on.
It's just amazing. Do you think that we weren't created by God? I don't think that we could create a machine that would be able to be capable of doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How about your brain? You ever thought about your brain? The human brain is the greatest wonder of creation. It only weighs about 1,500 grams, but contains more nerve endings than there are people on the earth.
Wow.
Most people casually talk about the little gray cells without ever taking into account what's going on inside them. So what we're going to do is just kind of take a look at your morning Bible study reading. Well, here's a picture of our brain here. While you are reading the words, your brain is carrying out a vast number of highly complex functions. You're turning the pages with the most delicate movements of your muscles. The muscles in your eyes are adjusting so that you can see with equally sharp clarity in the changing light conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Your retina is picking out the letters on the paper, reducing them down to tiny points, which the optic nerve sends on in the form of impulse code to the visual center, where the words are reassembled into a new picture. And of course, just the visual recognition of the words isn't enough. Okay? There's meanings of the words. And it's fed into the speech center so that the sentence can be compared with information already on hand.
Yeah.
This reservoir is gigantic. It holds tens of thousands of words with every possible nuance of meaning. And there's more. Many words and sentences evoke feelings in us, both positive and negative. You don't realize, when I was looking through this, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that much is going on when I look down at a piece of paper or the Bible and start reading it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And they invoke the feelings in us, both positive and negative. Often pictures which have impressed us come to the surface. So a colossal amount of information is bound up with every word, which is recalled to the conscience in fractions of a second each time it occurs. So the description of apparently commonplace task performed by our brain leads into a miracle of information handling, memory conscience, and beyond into the riddle of the brain always poses us. There is so much stuff going on inside of our brains when we do the simplest tasks. Just reaching down to pick up my phone. I'm thinking about it. I want to pick up my phone. My brain allows me to do that. There's all kinds of sparks and stuff flying around in there, sending signals down to my hand to tell me to open, to close, when to do things. I can feel it. Is it hot? Is it cold? My brain's breaking all of that stuff down in milliseconds. It's not by accident. This didn't happen from evolution. We did not just all of a sudden appear and come out of some primordial swamp as one cell and slowly started developing and turned into a little frog, or whatever the heck they say, and then we went into this and went into that. Next thing you know, we started standing upright. No. There is absolutely no way, as complex as your body is, that DNA could even been written without a great designer.
Amen.
God.
That's good.
If they were to build a computer to replicate your brain, even with the nanotechnology that we have, it would fill this room, and it still wouldn't be able to do everything that your brain could do. Because one thing, we cannot build a computer that has an emotion or a conscience. It might be able to do math functions, might be able to write out stuff, but it cannot imitate you. You cannot build a computer with conscience. Even a well-known brain researcher and Nobel Prize winner John Eccles recognizes we are always on the brink of understanding the mystery that we are. The little that is known already is more than enough to fill up whole libraries. It's said that we only use about 10% of our brain, and that's only because we can comprehend all the things that our brain is doing in a single moment.
Amen.
When they say, oh, well, we only use about 10% of our brain, because that's all we know about our brain. It's about 10%. Billions of bits of information are being passed from your brain to every part of your body in millisecond timing. Where are the movements of the arms and legs steered from? Where is the memory situated? Which part of the brain processes the sound of a thundering organ or a soft playing violin?
Mm-hmm.
And which part allows the colors of summer meadows to be experienced? And we can look out and see all these colors and say, oh wow, look at that. And it puts an emotion inside of us. And you look across the room and you see your child sitting there. And you feel that love. Where's that come from?
Mm-hmm.
It comes from evolution.
That's right.
What area directs our speech? And which of the center of our brain tells us that we're experiencing hunger, thirst, or tiredness? You may look at some of the technological advances that we've made and think, wow, that is spectacular. Military jets, the space shuttle, rocket science. But listen, nothing can even come close to what your brain is doing on a daily basis. Can't even come close. Listen, you are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes.
And the God of the heavens is the one who fashioned you together. He knows your name and everything that there is about you. And he's made you a promise for those who trust in him.
Amen.
He will literally hold them together in his hand and carry them all the days of their life.
Praise God.
God is literally holding you together in his hands. If we look at Isaiah 44:24, it says, "Thus says the Lord, your Redeemer, who formed you from the womb. I am the Lord who made all things. Who alone stretched out the heavens? Who spread out the earth? By myself." He didn't need your help.
That's right.
He didn't know nobody's help. He did it by himself. Not only did he create you, but he's holding you together.
Amen.
Psalm 33 that speaks of God that can create stars and galaxies, then takes an amazing turn in verse 12 and 15. The Lord looks down from the heavens, sees all his children, sees all the children of man. From where he sits enthroned, he looks out on all the inhabitants of the earth, he who fashions the hearts of them and observes all their deeds. He is intimately involved with everything about you. Everything. But he isn't done there. Verse 18 and 19, behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him, and on those who hope in his steadfast love. And here is a promise, that he may deliver their soul from death and keep them alive in famine. Verse 20 through 22, our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart is glad in him, because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we hope in you. Listen, the world is full of hurting people.
Yes.
People in pain that never asked for, or could even imagine. God promises us. He is not only the universe maker and a heart former. He wants to be intimately involved in your life.
Amen.
Each and every one of your lives.
That's good.
He wants to be involved.
That's good.
Intimately involved in all of your circumstances and to be a part of your life.
Praise God.
He promises that no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it gets, or how dark the road is, he will hold on to you and carry you through.
Amen.
You say, oh yeah, that sounds good. But how do I know it's true in my life right now? You have no idea what I'm going through right now. Well, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you how God is literally holding you together with a protein cell called laminin. Has anybody heard of laminin?
Yep.
Yep. Within the body, your human body, there's a little protein called laminin. Laminin is a cell adhesion molecule, and this is the stuff that holds your body together. This is what it looks like when it's written out in the scientific form. That holds the lining of your organs together. It holds your skin on. Holds everything in perfect shape. And you know what? You can see it like this, the way it's drawn out. Here it is under a microscope. It's amazing stuff, guys.
Amen.
God is literally holding you together. He designed it that way. And we gotta just turn here and we'll close with this. It's Colossians 1. I need these cheat sheets on my Bible.
Amen. That's all right.
All right, Colossians 1, 17 through 23. And it says, 17 here. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything he might be preeminent. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile himself to all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. And you who were once alienated and hostile in mind, doing evil deeds, he has now reconciled in body and in flesh by his death, in order to present you holy and blameless and above reproach before him.
Amen.
Jesus came to take our sins so we could stand before God holy and blameless. And he loves us so much that not only did he create us, but he makes sure that he's involved in every part of our lives, as well as holding our bodies together.
Praise God.
Absolutely amazing. It's an amazing God that we worship.
Amen.
You know, I hope that I've opened up some eyes to how miraculous God really is, and he does look at the details.
Amen.
He's got his eye on all of us, and he just wants to love us.
Praise God.
Close us in prayer.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you. Lord, you are just so amazing. The more we learn about you, the greater you are. And Lord, we're just in absolute awe
Yes.
to see the things that you do. We can barely scrape the surface of who you are.
Yes, Lord.
But Lord, someday we're going to get to see you face to face. Lord, we look so forward to that day.
Amen.
But until then, we will praise you, we will honor you
Yes.
in these bodies. And it's in your holy name that we say,
Amen.
Amen. Amen.